I'm at Rumar Farm, tender fruits, heirloom vegetables, to meet with Mark. I can't pronounce his second name. It's called something Mac something or other. He's got a Scottish name. And so I'm just in a place called Pelham to meet him and go through various things. And I just spied over here, and I just want to show you this, but look at these incredible looking dark, look at these. I mean, these are just amazing. There's one here. Look at that. This is just an incredible looking tomato. Look at them. They're just, I mean, you don't see this normally, do you? So that's, just some idea of what we're just about to experience. I'm here with Mark McCarricker from Rumar Farms, and the beautiful farm here. And I just was asking Mark, what makes this so unique? Even in this area, we're in an area called Pelham, up on the Niagara Peninsula, and we were just talking about food, just generally. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so Mark, what's so unique about your system and what you're doing, and how that affects one, toxicity, secondly inflammation, and thirdly your environment, your internal environment.
A large part of why our vegetables and fruits taste, we think, so much better than you would get in most other places. Well, there's two main points. One is the unique geography of this place. It's a very unique and special deposit of sand left here by the last glacial ice age, and it allows us to farm in a way that we can grow tender fruits and we can grow vegetables. We can grow absolutely anything on this land instead of being restricted to either vegetable or fruit. It really works well for both. And why do we choose to go organic and biodynamic? Well, that's a system of values that we adhere to in our own life. So why wouldn't we desire to grow really clean food?
So let me just ask a question then, which most people probably aren't aware of. There's organic.
Yep.
And then there's this next stage beyond that, which is
the biodynamic.
Biodynamic, and we know that biodynamic. You let them know a little bit more.
Sure. So essentially, biodynamics is a closed farm system. We try and run the entire nutrient program that the farm needs with what we have here. So the use of green manures and things like that, as opposed to bringing in compost from outside sources. Another element of that is, and this is where the real focus is for us anyway, is to focus on the soil. We know that if the soil is in balance and the soil is right with its microbial content being the way it's supposed to be, that the trees in the orchard and the vegetables in the fields can derive all the nutrition they need. Number one, to make nutritionally dense, clean food, and number two, to defend themselves against pests and funguses and things like that. And so it's a real focus on the soil. We say that we feed the soil, and in return, the soil feeds us.
And I think that's the key, isn't it? But most people think, well, it's the fruit or the vegetable that's the key. It's actually the soil. It starts with the soil.
Yeah, and there's a great analogy. And man, oh man, anybody who's reading anything these days, and it doesn't have to be web-based reading or specialty reading or anything like that, but they're really looking at the health of our gut microbiome as a key to balance in our own internal digestive system. We cannot derive all the nutritional benefits from our food if our microbial gut health is in imbalance. And so we look at our soil in exactly the same way. If the soil has a good, healthy microbial content, then the trees can get exactly what they need from the soil without stressor. And an insect or disease will always go to a stressed or weak plant first, because it's easy pickings, just like culling the herd, so to speak.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but it makes a lot of sense. And talking about your particular farm here, you must have some waste as well, because I do know that just in general, organic farm, something like 10 to 20% is always lost.
Sure.
You give that to the back, don't you? Is that?
Yeah, we do. And right over there, a nice large compost heap, and you can see fresh stuff that's being built up there. Again, part of that closed farm system. A large part of that compost is old fruit trees that we've taken out, we actually have somebody come by and chip those trees for us so that we can maintain that the biomass here on the farm without giving it away or burning it or whatever that they do elsewhere. And it's a remarkable thing to see in action. We know that if you use a water-soluble source of nitrogen, that the plants can certainly uptake that, and that's, by the way, almost every single commercial fertilizer. The plants can uptake that, they can use that, they can grow fruit and vegetables with it, and that's just fine. But what they take to process it is part of their own sugar reserves, and so they uptake it as nitrate, and to process that nitrate, they need to utilize some of their sugar reserves, which immediately drops the sugar level in their own fruiting or vegetable roots, thereby dropping the deliciousness. It's as simple as that. And so cleanly grown food is always going to be better tasting for sure.
That's yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. There's the external bit, which is the taste, and most people don't really get that. But when you start to eat really good quality food, the taste is completely different. Very different from this other stuff. And I think most people in North America specifically, and the United Kingdom, they forget. They've just been bludgeoned with this bland tasting food that just tastes, it's horrible. Can we just go and have a look at a couple of things that you're maybe harvesting right now, and just talk about some of those plants? Would that be okay?
Sure, of course. Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go.
We just came here and we're looking at there's a lot of plants here that have been harvested, and we're just looking at broccoli here. Most people are unaware, but broccoli has its heads. And then, what did you say about it, Mark?
So once the main head is harvested, and you can see the stub of where that was harvested quite some time ago, it's healed over now. A plant's number one job, just like us, is to procreate. And so it's trying to make seed. And of course, if you leave these broccoli heads to go to seed, they will do this. They will spike up, they will flower, and when that flower is finished, there'll be seed banks all around these stems. And so if you deny it the ability to go to seed, it's going to keep trying. It's going to keep throwing out these beautiful little side shoots, and we can come along and we can snap those, and that'll be a very, very, very delicious treat. We love to take these to market. We bunch them up, and people are always very glad. It's commonly known, I believe, as broccoletti. Some people call it broccolini.
And can you eat the leaves on it?
You absolutely can eat the leaves as well. Yeah,
so
they're very, very.
Up, or you just
steam it. Yep. Steam it or pan fry. It's a beautiful dish for sure.
Most people are unaware, but these are what are they? I can't remember.
Cruciferous.
Cruciferous.
Yes.
And these are amazing for antioxidants.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very, very nutritionally dense food. Particularly high in K, iron, and I think silica is way up in this one too. And silica is a real good one.
Essential for getting rid of
absolutely
aluminum or aluminium deposits.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'll eat one of these. Oh, that's sweet. That really is sweet. Didn't expect that, Mark. Honestly. Didn't expect that.
Well, anything that grows that quickly, as these side shoots do, they usually have a pretty good job of converting it to sugar. And yeah, they are very delicious, very tender, and the stems are very edible too.
Really? I didn't even know that. I know. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Well, I was just going to say there's a degree of astringency with it too. That's kind of unique. I really like that, to tell you the truth. So.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't like that. Well, I love it. Yeah, I love that. We're looking at mustard greens here, and I just asked Mark the question. Well, most of these biodiverse products, they have blemishes on them. I mean, this is quite normal, and all of us, when we're looking at this sort of stuff, we go to the supermarket and everything's absolutely pure, pristine green. And I asked Mark, well, what's wrong with that? Would you sell that? And you said no.
No, there is a limit to what people will accept. For instance, these leaves I would not bunch, but these, for sure, with just little bits like that, there's nothing wrong with that plant. And customers of ours who recognize the value of organic food accept those minor imperfections because they know that it's still a very nutritionally dense food that's never been sprayed, and that's good enough for them. And if it's good enough for them, it's certainly good enough for us to grow that way as well.
Could I get some horrible, nasty disease or something?
Not.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that's what people go. Oh, it's got some blemish on it. It's been eaten. I'm gonna, it's a pesticide or something. So that's that. you know, obviously we're in Canada. You said the last market's done. So what do we do? You know, what do you do in the winter?
Yeah, so there's always learning opportunities, conferences. The Guelph Organic Conference is run in January, for instance, and so that's something we definitely put a lot of effort into. We attend every year and have for maybe a decade now. There's a lot of equipment maintenance that has to be done, and so the tractors get their going over, and the mowers and the sprayers and all that good stuff, and so that keeps us very busy.
When you talk about sprayers, you're a biodiverse farm.
Yep.
You have to spray with something, I guess.
Of course, yeah, and so a lot of it is sprays that we make ourselves from beneficial weeds, I guess you would call it. So, for instance, equisetum or horsetail is really high in silica and makes a fantastic desiccant that we can use as a fungicide, and so that's one of the things we would do. We would make a compost tea with that, and I put it in my orchard sprayer, and if you drove by my orchard, you'd think, oh, look at that liar, he sprays like everybody else, but I put, you know, very, very different things in my sprayer. It's all naturally derived, and so that's the major difference.
And do you have horsetail here? Or do you...
We do. We have some horsetail here, but not enough to you know, manufacture as much as we need, but we have an excellent source very close by, as a matter of fact, and so we're able to buy it by the kilo at a very inexpensive price. And so that comes down to another thing too. You know, why biodynamics? It literally is the cheapest way to farm.
Wow.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Got the tomatoes here that you've harvested.
Yep, beautiful heirloom tomatoes.
Look at the different colors.
Yeah,
so why aren't they just beautifully red like they are at the store? And I mean, you've got some with blemishes there. I say beautifully red. I'm joking. So what's just the difference here?
They're just very, very different varieties. They're basically the way they would appear in the wild, and people have carried these varieties, which may arrive as sports. They are cracked and they are sometimes ugly, but they are beautiful when you cut them open, and they are very delicious when fully ripe.
I have some
sweet like crazy.
Perfect. Okay. And you got some other heirloom ones there. I mean, some black ones there.
Yeah, all different kinds. Indigo rose, one of the most beautiful that we grow.
I mean, these heirloom ones, they've been lost a lot because everybody just wants them. Tomatoes are red, right?
Just red tomatoes, yeah.
And you got some other things there, some other greens.
Yeah, we've got collards, we've got mustard greens, I've got these giant weird black radishes.
Oh, I bought one of those yesterday, I think.
Yeah, very high in iodine, so very good for kidney function. Yeah, we've got some cabbages, we've got some Asian greens and beets here. Kale. All kinds of beautiful things.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Look, I know, thank you very, very much, Mark. It's amazing just talking to you, just getting a little insight into what this is all about. That's it.
My pleasure.
Okay.